Well, we're continuing talking about the promenade and hopefully touching on maybe Peel Road and Onken. If you get permission from Tim Moulton, you're going to start pretty quickly. You're going to be looking at disruption until nearly TT week next week. What disruption are you planning / threatening? I mean, will the prom be closed in certain directions? What discomfort will motorists have for this whole period?
In general, there won't be too much disruption, because we're only doing the carriageway and the footway on the landward side, and because the promenade's wide down there, there's room to get vehicles around most of the time. The most disruptive element is when we're doing the surfacing around the two roundabouts that are sort of on each side of the C terminal there. One of them in particular is the main entrance to the ferry terminal, and we're going to use the emergency entrance through the car park and an access that comes out at Millennium Bridge temporarily during that phase. We're going to use Walpole Avenue. That currently runs one way towards the C terminal, or towards the ferry terminal might be a bit more accurate. At various times that will run the other way. So instead of going round the roundabouts there, people will be able to use that as a cut through. Do
you think it's going to be a serious problem there for traffic, or are you hoping it's going to be all right?
I don't think it will be too bad. There may be a little bit more congestion, but I don't think it will bring the whole of the capital to a standstill or anything unfortunate like that.
Very quickly, because we've done a long time. Peel Road, you happy with Peel Road?
Yes, Peel Road's going very well as a project. It is running ahead of programme. The original programme was 80 weeks. I would be reluctant to say yes, it will definitely be 70 weeks, because we have got to go through a Manx winter. There's also a lot of excavation still to be done, and when you're digging about in the ground you can find things that you weren't expecting to find. However, at the moment the project's going very well and running ahead of programme.
Finally, Onken traffic lights. Why is it taking you so long to put it back to exactly how it was originally, or is it not?
It isn't actually exactly as it was originally.
It's close.
I would have to confess to some mistakes in terms of the timings that have been in there at various points in time. There was some human error in regard to the timings for a period of time. In that the timings that we intended to put in were not the timings that were actually in. We corrected those, and at the moment the timings are not the same as they used to be, but they are giving priority to main road, and they do still make use of the loops in the road to adjust that slightly to allow a little bit more time on the side roads.
It took a long time to sort this out, considering it could have been done by a few button pushes, no?
Well, not quite as straightforward as you might think. The controller unit that was supplied there is a new type of controller unit, and therefore we were feeling our way to a degree with that new system in terms of the staff knowledge of how to use the new system as well. And that has accounted for a little bit of the delay in getting it sorted out. We also asked for the programme to be reconfigured to try and solve the solution, and there was a bit of delay from the supplier off island in getting that work done. So there are a few mitigating factors there, but at times I agree the timings were not as good as they should have been. I think they're now largely acceptable to most people, and we believe that they're working quite well. Bearing in mind as well that actually what people have forgotten is that the Birmingham School extension didn't exist before those signals were renewed. So the amount of traffic flowing through the junction is now higher than it used to be. And most people, or many people, have said to me the traffic actually flows better than it used to. So in other words, there's more traffic flowing through the junctions, and there's actually less congestion than there used to be. So there are some good indicators there that the signals have been effective. And also what people may have forgotten is that the whole of the village there looked very downtrodden and shabby, and now has been completely renewed and looks a lot smarter. than it used to do. So I hope people will remember that there's been quite a significant improvement in Onken village as a result of that scheme.